Yeah, hi there. I will in this video focus on solving this small sketch exercise with a slightly complicated in surface here, but not that complicated really. Your task is to create a sketch for the 3D part. Make sketch fully constrained. We always want that. Use the coordinates as system as reference. Find a proper 0 point. I think I'll go with a solution where I sketch the in surface here. And then after that, we can do an extrusion. So we can actually do it with one feature then. It can also be considered if we want to do the sketch of this surface here, so up here. Then it will be quite simple sketch, just a rectangle. And then we can do a new sketch cutting this part off here and then flip it to the other side, create a new sketch on this side, and then do the cutting from that side. But then you'll end up with more features. But there's no correct solution here, really. But I think, as I told you, I think I'll go with sketching this in surface. So I'll move to Inventor and start a new part. We can do it here, or we can do it here, whatever you prefer. If you got the correct settings or the nice setting, proper settings in the application option, then with a little luck, you should start up with an empty paper like that. Got my 0 point here, and I think I'll start here. So this will be my 0 point you have here. When you do the sketching, we can of course just create we can just create lines like that and then carry on like that. That works perfectly fine if you prefer that. But I think I'll try to go with the rectangle option, where I create 3 rectangles here. And then after having created them, then I'll do some trimming. So let's see if I can make that work. So this first rectangle will be 25 and 15 high, approximately. Well, exactly. So my first rectangle, starting here. You can see when it's blue, I can write values on it. I can see it in the lower right corner. There you can see the position of it. So now it's about 25 and 15 high, something like that. And I can actually write straight away here. And if I now press forward, then I move to the other one. It should be 15. So then it's dimensioned straight away, if you prefer that. You can also wait till after you have done your sketch, whatever you prefer. So that was the first rectangle we had there. Then I'll do a rectangle here, I think. This one. Starting. It's not really important where I start, but approximate in the correct proportion. So this time I just put on the rectangle like that without do a lot of thinking how it should look like. And then we'll have the last one is this one. Starting down here somewhere. Don't get the center point here. See if I move down the line and then catch the center point. We don't want to put it in the center, but basically just a random place. So I put it there. And I got my rectangles. I can see this dimension is in my way now. That's why I often actually not put the dimensions on until I have finished my sketch, basic sketch, you would say. Then I do some trimming, see if I can make it look correct. I cut away this line and that line and that one as well. What happened there? No, I don't want that. I would definitely want to trim away this. part here, then this is in my way. I'll delete that one. And then this is just a dimension line if it's confusing. Yes, what else do I want? I want to trim away another part. Teasing me now. It's teasing me now. So you can move it freely because I haven't got dimensions on. I can put a dimension on if I want actually here. That's the one that should end up being 10. That one. Like that. Trimming. More trimming. Take away this one and take away that one. I think it's more proper now. I think I'll take away these dimensions now. They're a little bit in my way. As you see, I put them on again, of course, later. Then it's got a more clear stitch. And I like that. It's easier to actually see what's going on. So, last trimming here, if I can do that. So, something like that. So you can easily fiddle around by making things look correct. But no problem. We got our basic sketch now. Basically looks like that. So I think in this case we got an awful lot of dimensions to add here. So I think I'll start up doing that in this case. Could also start off with adding the constraints here. Quite often the best way to constrain things first. But in this case, as I got a lot of dimension, I think I want to get hold of, you can say. So start up with 1525. So this one, catch the line. You see again, it's catching the center point here easily. But it's a line we want. And this is already 15 because we have added it previously. Same with this one. So it's perfectly fine. And see it's going down here, lower right corner. Well, let's do one here, 20 and 20. Yeah. So let's add that one to be 20. That one also 20. Actually, is what I talked about previously. It's nice to have the correct proportions. If you had drawn them as 2 mm, then sometimes when you do the changes, it is doing some big changes, but basically that doesn't really matter. But it can always be things, but the correct proportions are always nice. Okay, what else have we got? 20 and 20. I think we got that one as well to be 20. Here we go. And I can't remember dimensions, so I had to check all the time. We got 10 there, 10 and 15. So this one should be 10. Like that. The next one was also 10. The depth was the 15 one. That one. Oh, it is too big now. And I think I know why. You see, it tends to be tilted, this one. Because if we look at, we can put on the constraints here, show all the constraints. That's nice to have that one on. You can see what has happened here. We got some parallel ones. This is horizontal. Those are perpendicular to each other. But you can't recognize this is horizontal, I think. You see that's a horizontal vertical. You can see if you drag in, you can see that it's not properly done. It can also be, you can check that in another way with right clicking and then display all degrees of freedom here. You can see we've got those symbols on, and then we can see how we can move things. You can see this line is actually, you can say, turnable. You can turn it, same with that line, and so on. So I'll take away this degrees of freedom, or you can try out the one with automatic dimensioning, as I also told you. And then it's applying some missing stuff here. And that way, in this case, it actually worked perfectly fine. She was adding some constraints nicely. So I've done it. So it's actually what it has decided here was adding these two as a parallel one. It can also have been a horizontal constraint. You can see we can delete it again. After that, we didn't want that. And then we make it horizontal. That also worked perfectly fine. So whatever is the best solution. But you're not stuck with your constraint if you decide later that you want another type of constraint. And you can simply delete them, right click on it, delete them. Yes, I think problem here with this one was actually the one I wanted to change to be 15. So I think it worked now, didn't it? It seems like I got all my dimensions on. It should be 15. Oh, it should be 15, absolutely. So I think I got my dimensions on for now. So see it. But you see, even if it's a quite simple sketch, it can easily be a little tricky. It can teach you a little bit to actually get things fully constrained, to make the correct choices, proper choices. But whatever, I think it worked fine here. And I like when you do the sketching, I like to have put on the dimensions neatly here, so we have a nice overview of it. What I mean is that it's nice to have them put on neatly like that, so we have a nice overview of things. But it works, of course, also if you put them on slightly crappy like that. But it's nice to have a neat, clean sketch like that. Okay, but I'll finish it, and we have a sketch. And it was about doing this sketch here, but I can also try to finish it off. Why not? I have done it with an extrusion. You can see straight away pick this extrusion, this sketch, which is a nice closed sketch, which it needs to be. You can pick it should one way or the other way, or it should be symmetrical. When it's blue here, we can override 60. So if I want it should be to be symmetrical, then I can choose this one with a double arrow. So I think I'm happy now. So I'm done. So this should conclude the video about this small exercise.